Operation Warfare. Eject. Eject. Eject.
Behind every great leader is a great right-hand man, or right-hand robot.
Who are you?
Welcome to the history of Soundwave.
What are your orders, Megatron?
Not Megatron. This one is courtesy of Alex's Patreon special missions request. Like all the other original Transformers releases, Soundwave's debut was 1 year prior in 1983 in Japan's Micro Change line, Takara's companion toy line to Diaclone. Before he was Soundwave, he was Cassette Man, and if you had trouble remembering, it was emblazoned across the door. He came with fake earphones with headset mic attachment. Instead of Buzzsaw, he came with the red cassette robot, who would later be referred to as Rumble on the US toy packaging and Frenzy on the show. When Transformers came out in 1984, Cassette Man was made one of the Decepticons. They omitted the headset and microphone, and instead of the mini robot, he included Buzzsaw, the Condor, which could transform into one of his tapes. Illusion was the objective for the first wave of Transformers, so even though Soundwave and his previous incarnation Cassette Man couldn't play actual tapes, he was the exact same size a mini tape recorder was in that time period. I originally thought he was a shrunk-down cassette player, but years later I would discover mini cassettes, which would fit perfectly in Soundwave's tape deck. So not only could he hold his own tape army, he could hold real mini cassettes too. Adding to the illusion was a pair of double-sized batteries in the back. These could transform into Soundwave's weapons, a blaster, and a shoulder cannon. And in addition to being a formidable warrior himself,
Operation Warfare.
Soundwave bolstered the greatly outnumbered Decepticon ranks in '84 with some miniature warriors of his own.
My tapes.
A pair of 2-packs were released in '84 to complement Soundwave. The mini robot Frenzy, who appeared right on the show. Although human-sized, he was a tough little bugger. He once single-handedly tackled Prime to the ground. And he came packaged with Laserbeak, the Condor.
Laserbeak, transform.
And the other 2-pack was Ravage, the Jaguar, that looks more like a puma.
Ravage, transform. Attack.
Along with Rumble, the mini robot who could cause a lot of damage. His colors were switched with Frenzy on the show, where he appeared purple.
Rumble, activate pile drivers.
Not just foot soldiers, the cassettes could be used by Soundwave as more tools for surveillance and information extraction.
Enter Teltran 1, acquire knowledge of Earth resources.
As with many of the early Marvel Transformers comics, the tech specs bio on the back of the box was written by Bob Budiansky, who also came up with the name Soundwave. The bio reads, Soundwave, Allegiance, Decepticon, Function, Communications. And the quote reads,
Cries and screams are music to my ears.
It is said Soundwave can hear a fly sneeze, uses anything he hears for blackmail to advance his status, opportunist, despised by all other Decepticons. Sensors can detect even lowest energy radio transmissions, able to read minds by monitoring electrical brain impulses, acts as radio link for others, locates and identifies Autobots, then informs Decepticons, carries concussion blaster gun, often target of retaliation by his comrades. Although Megatron was leader of the Decepticons, and the gun mode was amazing, he left a lot to be desired in robot mode. I remember a lot of kids thinking Soundwave was the coolest of the Decepticons in the first year, and a close second to Optimus Prime for best Transformer of all that first year.
Correct.
Starscream had the personality, but you couldn't do much with the toy in robot mode, and he was a bit smaller. I remember Soundwave being the counterpart to Optimus in more schoolyard battles than Megatron was, back when head cannon was more important than corporate cannon. Come to think of it, his head does kind of look like the Decepticon symbol itself. Maybe he was the originally planned leader before they decided on Megatron.
Do something! Do something!
On the show, he does a lot. He was Megatron's most trusted lieutenant.
As you command, Megatron.
While many cartoons of the time had bumbling villains with equally bumbling henchmen, the cold, calculating Soundwave could always be counted on to accomplish his missions, or provide sound feedback.
Good work, Soundwave.
He's actually the one that comes up with the idea of energon cubes.
We can concentrate the energy into energon cubes.
He's also the Decepticons' answer to Wheeljack and Ratchet. He's an engineer.
Soundwave, prepare plans for a new space cruiser.
And he was a mass shifter. That's when Transformers can grow or shrink from robot mode to alt mode, since a 15-foot tall tape recorder would be rather conspicuous for spying. Soundwave could shrink down to the size of a real tape recorder when transforming. And then grow again back to his giant robot mode. Or he could choose to maintain his size in tape recorder mode, unless that's just one of many animation errors in Carnage in C minor. That's not all. As Mr. Budiansky's bio mentioned, he also had a very unsettling ability.
Initiate brain scan.
He had mind scanning abilities on the show.
His mental power is great.
Although some things from the bio were changed, he did retain his mind scanning abilities.
Formula extracted Megatron.
He could use his sound waves for attack too. And although he usually appeared pretty serious, he knew how to have fun too. He appears in several episodes, usually as a background character, but the highlight for me was Autobop, where he finally goes one-on-one with his Autobot counterpart, Blaster. Although not usually one for quotable soundbites, he's got one of the all-time classic ones during his banter with Blaster.
You poor excuse for a sound system. All talk, no shock.
As well as one of the most quoted lines from Transformers the movie, when the Decepticons are arguing about who should be the new leader now that Megatron is gone.
Soundwave superior, Constructicons inferior.
And he may have the most touching moment involving the Decepticons in all of G1, when, after being kicked while he's down, he pleads for Soundwave's help.
Don't leave me, Soundwave. As you command, Megatron.
And the loyal soldier carries his leader's battered body off the battlefield. And a cute little moment follows with Rumble doing his part to help out too. His rematch in the Season 3 episode Carnage in C minor doesn't quite live up to their Autobop brawl, thanks to all the animation issues with that episode. It looks more like they're dancing than fighting. But he is prominently featured in the episode, assembling segments of a harmony that gives him the ability to destroy anything in his path with super-powered sound waves. And the episode has a nice little dose of nostalgia thanks to Galvatron and Soundwave's interactions, harkening back to Megatron and Soundwave from the first two seasons. He was voiced by simply the best voice actor that ever lived.
You're simply the best!
Frank Welker, who used his Dr. Claw voice from Inspector Gadget.
I like your style, partner.
Which then had an effect unto it to give Soundwave his trademark harmonic, demonic sounding voice. The reason we know this is they missed adding the vocal processing effect to his voice a few times.
Excellent ravage. Ratbat has found a deposit of isotrite and something else.
And an interesting thought for whenever you go back to watch those old episodes. Whenever Decepticon Commander Megatron, or Galvatron, are talking to their right-hand bot Soundwave, it's actually Frank Welker talking to himself.
Prepare to fire the engine!
Galvatron, is that wise?
Just like on the Autobot side, when Autobot leader Optimus Prime is talking to his bodyguard, Ironhide. It's Peter Cullen talking to himself. And Mr. Welker got plenty of opportunities to talk to himself whenever Soundwave spoke to his cassettes. He also voiced Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage, and Ratbat.
Destroy Autobots.
With pleasure!
In fact, the only Soundwave cassettes he didn't voice were Laserbeak and Buzzsaw. who were voiced by Chris Latta, the voice of Starscream.
The Transformers will return after these messages. We now return to the Transformers.
In the Marvel Comics, he first appears in Transformers issue number 1, and the origin story is similar to the show. A group of Autobots and Decepticons crash landing on Earth millions of years ago and being reactivated in 1984. As on the show, he's a loyal follower to Megatron, and then whoever else took command of the Decepticons. And there were a lot of Decepticon commanders, one of which was one of his own tapes, the aforementioned Rat-Bat. Strange that one of Soundwave's tapes would be leader instead of Soundwave himself, but it just goes to show what a loyal follower he was. He'd even follow one of his own minions. How's that for no career ambition? He wasn't just limited to toy releases in 1984, they also released a design center with his likeness in robot mode for arts and crafts. In '85, there were 2 ways to get Soundwave in Japan. He was released in a 2-pack with Grimlock, and got a Transform Junior release, a slightly shrunk down version that maintained the same look in both modes and transformation, plus a Kabaya PVC toy, similar to Decoys, and a transforming Kabaya gum toy. Also in '85, a Soundwave that could actually play tapes. Unfortunately, this real tape player was stuck in robot mode. Another tape minion was released in 1986 with Rat-Bat, who came in a 2-pack with a reissued Frenzy.
Soundwave, eject Rat-Bat to begin scanning.
And a PVC decoy of Soundwave came out that year as well. The G1 animated Soundwave as we knew him met his demise on July 10th, 1987 in the Japanese Headmasters series, in the 2nd episode titled The Mystery of Planet Master. After an epic duel with his nemesis Blaster, Soundwave explodes. Although Blaster initially appears to be the victor, it ends up being a dusty finish, baby.
Don't tell me what Dusty Rhodes the American Dream is or gonna do.
Blaster dies a few seconds later, and the referee's final decision is a draw. Everybody goes home happy, baby.
And that's the bottom line.
But the grieving period doesn't last long. In episode 4, titled The Great Cassette Operation, he's revived as Sound Blaster. He doesn't get the Galvatron, Cyclonus, or Scourge treatment though. No upgraded body, simply a new black paint job, and new name. Sound Blaster. The original Soundwave toy was reissued in 1987 in Japan with the same black color scheme to coincide with the series. It wasn't just a straight repaint though. The chest compartment, just like Blaster's new form of Twincast, was retooled to hold 2 cassettes instead of 1. The more things change, the more they stay the same though. He once again included Buzzsaw. A smaller Transform Junior version of Sound Blaster was released that same year, and his tape collection grew by 2 with Slugfest and Overkill, and 2 more in 1988 with Squawk Talk and Beast Box, who could combine to form Squawk Box. Like most Transformers in 1990, he lost the ability to transform when he became an Action Master. Included was his new companion, Wing Thing. And that's the end of the road for G1 releases for Soundwave. But the reprehensible recorder would continue on in many, many different forms over the next 3 decades. Here are just a few. When a toy company has a trademark on a name, they have to use that name for a toy release every so often or they'll lose that trademark. So the next 2 releases smack of trademark savers. In 1995, the line of Transformers GoBots, which itself was a trademark saver, featured a car named Soundwave, which bears no resemblance to the G1 incarnation. Also in '95, a Laser Cycle bearing his name was planned, a repaint of Laser Cycle Road Pig, talking about trademark savers, but was never released. In 1997, the UK exclusive Predator Stalker was recolored in the repaint fest known as Machine Wars as Soundwave, a KB exclusive. And he was ready to terrorize in 2000 thanks to Beast Wars. He could transform into a bat or alligator, and suffered from gold plastic syndrome. Brittle gold sparkly plastic that broke very easily after a few years. He wasn't related to the original character at all, only named after him. The original G1 Soundwave does appear in the Beast Wars animated series though, laying deactivated on the floor in the Ark. A red look-alike of him also shows up in the follow-up series Beast Machines, by the way. In 2001, he was back in his original form with a pair of SCF figures, one colored and one clear. and a North American version the following year under the Heroes of Cybertron line, plus a Sound Blaster SCF also in 2002, and a pewter version that year as well. Hard Hero put out a porcelain bust in 2002. In 2003, the world's smallest Soundwave was released. You could finally have a Sunbow-sized, tiny tape deck to go with your G1 Transformers. Included was an impossibly small Ravage cassette that could actually transform. A MyClone released that year, and a Takara reissue of the original, this time with Laserbeak instead of Buzzsaw. And in 2004, a reissue of Sound Blaster, this time with Ravage and Buzzsaw. Plus there was a tiny History Collection PVC figure in Japan. That Predator Stalker mold got another use in 2004, this time with a color scheme a bit more Soundwave looking, and a Palisade statue that year. A titanium release in 2006. A Sound Blaster repaint was planned, but it was never released because it's ugly. And a new character bearing his name appeared in the Cybertron line, transforming into a jet.
All you bots out on the floor, get ready to rock it.
And a wall plaque by Diamond Select, coming out of the space bridge. Fun fact, it's not actually a wall plaque. And North America finally got a G1 Soundwave reissue in the commemorative collection in 2007. He included 2 tapes, Laserbeak and Battle Ravage. I guess because they didn't name a GoBot Ravage in '95. Oddly enough, it has the retooled chest compartment from Sound Blaster that holds 2 tapes. I had this version some years back and got rid of it because, as far as reissues went, it sucked. It had a weird dullness and cheap feeling plastic, and the enlarged chest door didn't look right to me. You got a Robot Heroes version in 2007 in a 2-pack with Bumblebee. And finally, a transforming Soundwave that could actually play music. 3 different decos under the music label line: Sonic White Shattered Glass, Spark Blue, and Blaster Black. Another reissue hit Japan in 2007 in the Encore line, slightly lighter blue than the original, and with Laserbeak again. And a mini bust that year by Diamond Select, a Boss Coffee PVC figure in Japan in 2008, and he appeared on the Transformers animated series titled Transformers Animated.
I am Soundwave, I am Decepticon.
And got a toy release based on his show look that year.
Run back the toy, Operation Autobot Destruction.
And Diamond Select was back with another mini bust, this time of Sound Blaster. And another G1 reissue in 2009, under the Universe line, available at the Hasbro Toy Shop at that year's San Diego Comic-Con. He might be the most reissued Transformer behind Optimus Prime. This one came with the original door and could only hold 1 tape, but he included 4 tapes: Laserbeak, Ravage, guess they got the trademark back, Buzzsaw, and Ratbat. He made his return to the big screen in 2009, appearing as a communications satellite in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, once again voiced by Frank Welker.
Decepticons, mobilize.
He rolled out with a United release in 2010, a Creo in 2011, and another movie appearance, Dark of the Moon, once again voiced by Frank Welker.
No prisoners, only trophies.
This was accompanied by more toys based on his movie look. He's killed by Bumblebee in the movie. A Shattered Glass BotCon exclusive in 2012, and he stealthily snuck into the 2012 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive set as a tape deck.
Disclosure averted.
A return to animation for Soundwave in 2012, he appeared in Transformers Prime, once again voiced by Frank Welker. Despite having a featured role, he only had 1 line in the whole show.
Soundwave superior, Autobots inferior.
A toy based on his appearance in the show corresponded. A glorious masterpiece version was released in 2013 in Japan, with Condor, aka Laserbeak, and an empty Energon cube.
Prepare the Energon cubes.
Even though he's quite a bit bigger than the G1 version, the tape door is compatible with the original G1 tapes. That same year, a North American version of Masterpiece Soundwave was released exclusive to Toys R Us. It had a few differences from the Japanese version. The eye visor was yellow, like the original G1 toy, instead of red. And he included a whopping 5 cassettes: Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage, Buzzsaw, and Laserbeak.
Eject Operation Interference.
And who could go for another G1 reissue? A gold version this time. This Linkin Park Soundwave looks a lot like he took a dip in the Golden Lagoon. And a ConstructBots version for 2013. Another G1 reissue, this time a Shattered Glass white version from eHobby. The Masterpiece mold was used in 2014 to make Masterpiece Sound Blaster with Rat-Bat, a Hero Masher 6-inch non-transforming figure, and why not reissue the Masterpiece mold again? In 2015, a Platinum Edition Year of the Goat clear version was released with Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage, Buzzsaw, and Laserbeak.
The Transformers will return after these messages. We now return to the Transformers.
A Q Transformers car in 2015, and Tiny Titans. He appeared in the 2015 video game Transformers Devastation in all his G1 glory, voiced again by Frank Welker.
Operation Obliteration.
And a Battle Changer 2-pack with Radget that year. They redecoed Blaster into Soundwave for Titan's Return in 2016. His Titan Master partner was named Sound Blaster this time. How's that for a trademark saver? And he was a triple changer this time, transforming from robot to boombox to stage and back. He got with the times in 2016 by transforming into a tablet. And a redeco for that year's San Diego Comic-Con and Hasbro Online Toy Shop. A redeco of the Titan's Return release that same year for Legends in Japan. And another G.I. Joe crossover in 2016, appearing as a non-transforming blue Cobra Hiss tank. He got in the Christmas spirit in 2017 thanks to Hallmark's ornament resembling his 84 robot mode. And welcome back, Frank. Mr. Welker reprised the role of Soundwave in the Robots in Disguise animated series.
Your ambitions are irrelevant.
A toy of this incarnation was released that year as well. In 2018, he returned to the movies, appearing in Bumblebee. In it, he co-leads the Decepticons with Shockwave, assuming command after Megatron's disappearance.
Decepticons, attack!
He's not voiced by Frank Welker this time because somebody screwed up big time. A 32-inch statue by Imaginarium Art. And a new animated incarnation of Soundwave for 2018, Cyberverse. Not voiced by Simply the Best.
Soundwave superior.
But voice actor Mark Swint does an admirable job of filling in. And 2 Cyberverse releases for that year, a Warrior Class version, and a Step Charger. A War for Cybertron Siege version in 2019, with a third mode that original Transformers fans will remember fondly. The sensor lamp disguise he used as Wheeljack and Bumblebee were returning to Iacon in the very first episode of the original animated series. And a Sound Blaster repaint of it that same year, a Walmart exclusive. A tiny turbocharger for Cyberverse Soundwave. Another G1 reissue in 2019 in North America. But this one is special. It's almost an exact replica of the original 1984 release right down to the box.
So close, Soundwave.
And once again included Buzzsaw.
So very, very close.
Another gold version, this time the Titan's Return release, and officially referred to as the Golden Lagoon version, available at Wonderfest in 2019. Another non-transforming Soundwave in 2020, but this time he's stuck in tape deck mode instead of robot mode, part of a Weaponizer accessory pack. Or you could get him stuck in robot mode with a Super 7 reaction figure. The Siege version got a retool for a Battle 3-pack that year, and the smallest Soundwave ever in the Behold Galvatron Hasbro Pulse exclusive accessory pack. A deluxe-sized Cyberverse Soundwave, this time with show-accurate head. A Voyager-sized car in the Authentics line. A Legends-sized release in 2021 under War for Cybertron Kingdom. There's a Funko Pop, a non-transforming Red or RED figure in 2022, and this is starting to resemble the number of White Optimus Prime repaints as Ultra Magnus. This Legend-sized Soundwave was recolored as Sound Blaster. The Siege version was re-released under the Legacy line, this time without battle damage, and the Legend-sized Kingdom release was reissued with new packaging. A wearable helmet with light-up eyes, lights, and sounds so you could cosplay as Soundwave. There's an XM Studios 29-inch statue that went for around $1,700. Or if your budget was on the other end of the spectrum, he's in the Nano Metal Fig sets by Jada as both Soundwave and Sound Blaster. He's getting an Ultimates figure in 2023 by Super 7, and a Flame Toys kit. And there were many, many more I didn't mention, plus many more to come, I'm sure.
Analysis of the signal is complete.
Hard to believe someone who's always standing in the background could quietly become one of the faces of the whole brand. Cool as ice, concise, precise, and not very nice. Soundwave is without a doubt one of the most iconic characters to ever transform and hide out. Thanks, Alex, for the request, and thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the spotlight on the original Decepticon spy.
That was heaven.
Till next time, rock on.
Ready for ultrasound transmission.
Play us out, Soundwave. Holy Lord, that's awful. What is that?
The purest, most vibrant, most perfect harmony I've ever heard.
Boy, you are evil. Let's try this side.
Soundwave! The harmonics! No!
Transmission terminated.